Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new. You will probably be hearing baby sounds like that. I normally film when my son is taking a nap or he films with me and we eat lunch together, but it's like 3:30 right now, so he is definitely wide awake. He's in the living room playing in his jumper, watching TV while mommy does a mukbang because mommy just needs to vent. I'm angry and I just want to talk. So, like, I didn't even clean up. I don't even know if you guys can see it. There's like spots here on my kitchen island. I didn't even clean it. I'm just like, I'm just angry. I just want to talk. So, today I'm going to be eating some Panera Bread. I have really gotten into Panera Bread here this past year in 2017. Like, I never really ate Panera Bread that much until this year. And I really like it. So, I did their pick two, choose two thing, meal. I don't know. I got the baked potato soup. I got a turkey sandwich of some kind or another. Put that there. It's like a bacon turkey sandwich. I don't think this is what I was intending to order because I had something there from them before. It was like a hot sandwich, and this is a cold sandwich. So definitely not what I thought I was ordering, but it still looks good. And then I also got a Asiago bagel. I was watching, what is her name? I think it's Devine Munchies. I was watching her the other day, and she was doing a Panera Bread MukBang, and she had one of these bagels, the Asiago bagels. It sounded so good. So it was like $10 for all this soup, sandwich, and bagel. Charged a little extra for the bagel. They do offer cream cheese. In Devine Munchies' video, she bought their cream cheese, but I already have cream cheese here at home, and I'm eating it at home. So, like, why spend an extra 75 cents for a cup of cream cheese when I have a whole brick? And I'm just having water here at home. I didn't buy a drink. So that is what we're going to be eating. It does look good. A little disappointed with the sandwich. I mean, I'm sure it's going to taste really good. It looks really good. But I thought it was going to be a hot sandwich. And it is a cold day. It is snowing. If I had to guess, I would say we had anywhere between 3 to 6 inches on the ground right now of snow. Well, probably 3 to 4. And it's still coming down pretty hard. So I wouldn't be surprised if we don't end up with like 6 inches. So I kind of expected this to be like a hot bagel. I don't know why. It looks really good though. There's a lot of cream cheese there. It's probably like way too much. So, if you're coming here from my main channel, then you already know that I donate plasma. But if you're just hopping on this channel and you've never seen them before, then I donate plasma. And it's a great way to make a little extra cash. My dog was down here like rolling in a plastic bag. I think you could hear that just now. That's good. Puppy dog pals is coming on. Puppy dog pals. So, I donate plasma. I do it twice a week. It's a great way to bring in a little extra cash. If you didn't know, you do get paid to donate plasma. And at my facility, I make about $70 a week. Well, I just got turned away for today's donation. I can try to donate again tomorrow, and I'm sure I'll be fine tomorrow. But I got turned away for today's donation because of high blood pressure. It was 106, and it has to be under 100. And I thought I was going to get turned away. Like, I could feel it in my chest. Like, I knew. My heater's kicking on. I think you can hear that. But I knew I was going to get turned away. Because I was angry. Like, I've been staying off Facebook, trying to keep myself calm. But, and this is, I'm like torn between talking about it. But, I don't know. Like, it's doubtful my cousin will ever see this. So, whatever. But she made a post about how it was all about, you know, getting her tax money back and how she can't wait to get a better place to live. Which, for anyone just reading that would think, oh, you know, that's awesome, you know. And she's talking about how, like, you know, now that she has, she got a promotion at work, she works at Taco Bell, now she's a shift manager. And she's talking about how now she has that promotion, like, she'll better qualify for a better place, and with getting her tax refund check, like, she can use that to get a better place, and da-da-da-da-da. And then in the comments, somebody said, good luck, and she responded to them with, I don't have luck in my life. Everything I have, I've worked my ass off for. And I'm not disagreeing that she doesn't work hard. I'm not saying that she doesn't work hard for what she has. But my parents have helped her so much this year. Like, And there's a lot to this story. So we're just getting started here. There's a lot that goes into this. So, question of the day, let me know in the comments down below. Have you ever been wronged by a family member or taken advantage of by a friend or family member? And of course, in reverse to that, if you want to talk about it, have you ever taken advantage of a family member or a friend? So, my cousin, who, for whatever reason, my family has never been, like, really close with her family as far as, like, her mom and her siblings go. Like, it was just a couple years ago that I found out that she had an older sister. Like, I never knew about Tracy until a couple years ago when she was adding me on Facebook. And I was like, who is she? Like, she keeps adding me. Who is she? And I asked somebody, and they're like, oh, that's your cousin Tracy. She's like in her 50s. And I'm like, I've never heard of her. And they're like, oh, it's your Aunt Caroline's daughter, your cousin Sylvia's sister, blah, blah. Like, I should have known my whole life. And it's like, no one ever mentioned her. You're like, so we were not very close to that side of the family. Sylvia, I think, is like 30, somewhere between 35 and 38. She's in her mid to late 30s. And I always knew about her. I always thought she was my Aunt Caroline's only daughter. I never knew there was another kid. But anyways, my cousin Sylvia had a really bad car accident when she was learning how to drive. And it gave her really bad anxiety. And she was like 16. And she just never got her driver's license. Never got it. And somehow, out of all of these years, I think she made a Facebook post, because my mom was friends with her on Facebook. And I think she made some kind of a Facebook post, and this was back in, like, September of 2017. August, September. And my mom ended up reaching out to her. You know, after all these years, never really had anything to do with her. My mom decides to reach out to her to try to help her. And she tells my dad what was going on with whatever post it was that she made. Because she makes these posts that are like, woe is me, and nobody helps me. Or she makes posts like, I'm a strong, independent woman, I take care of myself, and nobody ever helps me. You know, it's either like, woe is me, or like a, I don't need nobody kind of a post. And at the time, she had the apartment that she has now, which I've never been to her house. I don't know what her apartment looks like firsthand. I just know my parents have told me. It sounds like it's really tiny. It's like a 2-bedroom, and then she set up her living room as her bedroom. I guess her kitchen's really weird as like in the hallway. I don't know. It's in this renovated house, so it's like we have a lot of like these really big, like Victorian style houses here in my city, but like the money ain't rolling in here like it used to be. So they've all been renovated into like apartments. So you have like 2 or 3 apartments in this really big house instead of it just being like somebody's home, you know? Well, it is, but you know what I'm saying? Like it's not, they don't look grand and gorgeous anymore. They're kind of run down, and you got 2 to 3 to 4 apartments in one Victorian style house. Does that make sense? And I only bring that up because of like the kitchen's like in the hallway, which sounds really weird, but then when you put it in perspective of like, it's not a normal apartment complex where it was like built to be an apartment complex, you find out that it was a house that was renovated, you know, you're gonna end up having some oddities. Like there was one person I went to's house who was like that. Well, they had an apartment, but they were in a house like that. And it was weird. Like you walked into the living room, and then you walked into their bedroom. This was like a one-bedroom apartment. So you walked into their bedroom, and then you walked into their kitchen, and then you walked into their bathroom. It was just like a weird setup. So it sounds like that's kind of how her house is, which I am by no means trying to dog on my cousin for where she lives. That's not what I'm getting at here. I'm just explaining the setup. So, anyway, she had some kind of a woe is me post of some sort back in like August, September, and my mom and dad get a hold of her, and they're like, hey, you know, do you want us to teach you how to drive? So my dad works nights, and Sylvia actually works nights at Taco Bell, and at the time she didn't have a management position. She was like trying to get it, and my dad spent a lot of time taking her out and working with her and teaching her how to drive, with like the whole intention of helping her get her driver's license and then helping her get a car. And she kept telling my dad the entire time, this was her story, she said, thank you so much for teaching me how to drive. Once I get my license, I'm going to take my tax return check and I'm going to get a car. And then I'm going to get a better job. Because the whole reason that she supposedly lives where she is because it's close to work. And in our city, we have a trolley system that runs, I don't think it runs on the weekend, I could be mistaken, but she takes the trolley during the week, and she's not far from work, so she can walk there if she has to. I guess she's like maybe a mile down the road, which in the wintertime, that freaking sucks. Like I said, we probably have like 4 to 6 inches on the ground right now. And she works nights, so that makes it all the more worse. And my dad spent, like I said, he spent a lot of time teaching her how to drive, trying to build up her, because it wasn't like a simple take you out and teach you how to drive. Like he had to get her comfortable behind the wheel again, because she had like extreme anxiety after that accident. Like she wanted nothing to do with learning how to drive for years. And my dad wasn't even sure what she would say when he offered to teach her. And he was kind of surprised that she took him up on it. And yeah, so like it was a couple months of working with her, well into November. I remember my parents talking about it. And during that time frame, like, no, she never technically asked for anything from them, but she would talk about how, oh, I can't pay this bill, or we don't have any food in the house, or like all these different sob stories, which I'm sure are true. I'm not saying that they're not. I know that she's not well-to-do. I know they are struggling. I know that by every definition, her and her 3 kids live in poverty. And I'm by no means trying to come on here and dog on her. It's just the whole situation. So listen to the whole story, and then you'll understand where I'm coming from. So as my parents hear all of this, they start giving her things. Either they buy them new for her, which a lot of the stuff they bought her, they bought new. Or they'll give it to her if they just have it on hand. Her kids, it was getting cold out, and her oldest boy didn't have sneakers or boots. He only had sandals. So they took him out and bought him shoes. They bought some things for her daughter. I think they took her some clothes. I know they bought them groceries on multiple occasions. I know they paid one of their utility bills was about to get shut off, and my dad paid like $500 or $600 on that. But this whole time, like her son, her daughter all have like the brand new iPhones. Like they all have super fancy iPhones. And it's one of those things that's like, can't pay your electric bill, but you can get a $600 cell phone. And it's not like somebody's buying that for her as a gift. I know for a lot of people, they'll get phones and such as gifts. Like, her parents are dead. Okay? Like, her sister Tracy doesn't have anything to do with her. And I think that kind of puts up a red flag, because if your sister's not willing to step in and help you, like, what have you done? What has happened here? And as things progress, it seems like she is happy where she's at. She doesn't want to progress or do better for herself and her children. And she just, like, takes advantage and sucks up and uses from people when they're willing to be generous and try to help her. And she does that until they finally catch on, and then they cut her out, which is kind of where my parents are at currently, because they ended up in the course of, like, from August, September time frame until December, the end of December, when they took them Christmas, my parents have put in like $3,000 into her and her children. And here recently, this is where it starts getting aggravating, she starts blowing my dad off. She got a new boyfriend, and suddenly she told my dad, oh yeah, I'm going to go driving with you, or whatever their plan was. Or at some point, she finally got ready to, like, take her driver's test, and my dad was going to take her to go do it. And she just started blowing him off. Like, he would call her when he'd get off of work. She should have been getting off about the same time, because, again, they both work nights. And he'd be trying to get a hold of her and be like, hey, have you made your appointment at the DMV to go get your license? Do you want me to take you? I'm sure my dad would have paid for it, because that's how he is. Like, and I think she just figured out with him that all she had to do was mention that she was struggling, and he was more than willing to help. Because, no, she never actually asked anything from my parents, but all she had to do is mention that she was struggling in any kind of way. And that's just how my parents are. Like, they're like that with me and my husband. And we try not to take anything from anybody unless, like, we absolutely have to. Like, if you're here from my main channel, you know that earlier this year, I got threatened with a lawsuit, and I was getting sued for some old debt that went to collections. And we didn't have the cash on us, and my parents gave us half, and we had half. And we offered to pay them back, and they told us no. But there's been multiple times, and it's our own fault, where, and a lot of it goes back to, like, we, our eyes were bigger than our wallet, and we bought a fancy car, and now we're kind of struggling to pay for it. Which is what led us into donating plasma. Because that's been a huge financial help, and now, like, things are a lot easier for us since doing that, because it kind of makes up the difference of what we're spending out in the car. But for about 2 years there, like, we were tight. We were like, pay our bills, and that is it. Like, we were pretty tight, and it was our own fault. And so anytime, like, we went low on groceries or what have you, like, we didn't go complaining to anybody about it, because, like, it's our own fault, you know? Like, we shouldn't have bought the car. You know, if we don't have anything for breakfast and we have to eat last night's leftovers for breakfast, well, you know, that's okay. That's just part of life sometimes. And, you know, or we can't go do something fun or go do whatever because we don't have the money for it. Like, that's life sometimes. I mean, if we at any point went to either of our parents, my husband's parents, they do quite well for themselves. My parents do well for themselves as well. And at any point in time, if we come to them and had said, like, hey, we're struggling, can you help us out? They would have. But we don't want to take advantage, and we don't want to take money from other people if we don't have to. Like, it's like in an emergency, for example, like I was getting sued, you know, we need some help kind of a thing. It's not like a... Anyway. I think I have like 3 minutes left on my SD card. It's fantastic. So the part that starts getting aggravating is here by like December. She starts just plain out blowing my dad off when he tried to get a hold of her to like go get her driver's license. Or I guess she'd need to get her permit first and then she'd get her license. But just trying to get hold of her to like go up there and do that. And again, like I'm sure he would pay for it because I think it's like $25. Any mayo on this? There's something on that. I don't know what that is. It looks like Thousand Island. Looks like Thousand Island dressing. That'll be interesting. Yeah, I think that's what that is. I'm not a fan of tomatoes, so taking that off. So that started happening. And then now, like, she is making Facebook posts about wanting to get a different apartment. And it's frustrating because, like, she would qualify for low-income housing. She would qualify for it. And she won't go apply for it. And she's very proud of the fact that she's not in low-income housing. Which, I understand that. But on the other hand, like, you are struggling really hard just to, like, pay your bills. Like, she would probably get low-income housing probably for free. Maybe $75 a month. And the whole thing that she gave my dad was, I don't want to live in low-income housing because there's drugs. I'm sorry, but we're in the middle of like an opioid epidemic. There is nowhere that you are going to move that you do not have somebody near you doing drugs. My neighbors right next door just got evicted for smoking meth. I don't think I've ever lived anywhere in the state of Indiana that I have not had at least pot dealers or smokers as my neighbors. And I grew up in like a fairly decent neighborhood. And I can remember several times across the street we would have drug dealers. And honestly, in my experience, drug dealers are the people you want to live across the street from because they keep the street quiet. And then I've also had drug users. And they are allowed AF, and they're the kind of people that you want to have move away. And after living at home, I moved in with my, at the time, boyfriend, now husband, in our apartment. And the people in the basement were smoking pot and who knows what else, and it stunk up the entire apartment complex. And then we moved into our trailer, and there was drugs running rampant all over there. I remember there was a few times when we first moved in that we were like walking around the neighborhood, and I think I might have just ran out of memory. No. I think I've got like 1 minute left. Ran into this guy who was like, I found a gold chain necklace in the dirt. Do you want to buy it off me for $50? I need to get headache medicine. And the next time we ran into him, he was like, I need to sell my wife's computer so I can buy headache medicine. Like, we're not stupid. You're selling her shit so you can go get drugs because you're high AF. And now, like I said, we live in our house, and the people next door are smoking meth, and the people the next street over keep getting busted for meth. You're not going to go anywhere where it's not happening. I'm sure it's happening in the apartment that she lives in currently. Like, and if not in her apartment, probably the people across the street, next door, down the street a little ways. It's there. Like, you're not just going to get away from it. I think I need to get a different SD card. So the point of that whole rant is that my cousin is refusing to better herself because she's prideful and because of some dumb excuse. And it's like on one hand, it's admirable that she doesn't want to be in government housing. It's admirable. On the flip side, though, like, and I know there are people out there who are, like, super against welfare. There are people who legitimately need it. There are other people who are abusing it. I've got another cousin, I don't want to super get into it, but, like, her and her family, they're abusing it. But this other cousin, like, they legitimately need it. They're the kind of people who legitimately need the help. And she really, at least says that she wants to do better for herself. But she's just, like, not doing it, you know? And so it's frustrating and aggravating because, like, you can give her all the opportunities and send her all the right direction. Originally, her whole thing when my parents the very first started helping her was, well, I didn't get government housing because I didn't know how to apply for it. When my dad's trying to help her out, and suddenly it's, I don't want to live there because of drugs. I have family and I have friends who live in the housing. I've been to the apartments. They are nice apartments. It is clean. It is nice. Yes, they come in every 6 months and they check your space. It's what they do. But half the people living over there, like, hardly pay anything. I have a friend who, when she first moved in, she was a single mom, really young, and she had a part-time job, and I think she paid like $75 a month, and all of her utilities were included. Like, so, and her apartment was cute. It was a really cute apartment. And for my cousin Sylvia to flat out say, I don't want to live there. I'd rather live, and no offense, the slummy apartment that I currently have where my kitchen's in the hallway and I keep fighting bed bugs because my neighbors downstairs have it because I'm too good for government housing. Like, it's frustrating. And now her whole thing is like, oh, with my tax return check, I'm going to get a different apartment. I'm going to get a better apartment. And that circles back to, like, why aren't you at least keeping your word? Like, you told my dad, who invested a lot of time and money in you, a lot of gas money, gas ain't cheap, in teaching you how to drive, and, like, all this stuff, and you kept saying, oh, I'm going to get my license and I'm going to get a car. I'm going to get my license and I'm going to get a car. Well, she finally got an ID, but it's not a driver's license. She just got the ID so she could get her tax check, which is good. She needs the ID, but it's aggravating. Like, can you at least keep your word and do what you said you're going to do? And if you never had intentions of getting your car or things change, like, fine, whatever. But it just feels like she really took advantage of my parents this year. That's how it feels. And with the things she's saying on Facebook, it's a whole, because my parents are, like, they're to the point where, like, they'll help the kids out, but they're not, like, giving her money. They're not doing a lot for her. And now it's back to her making Facebook posts about, oh, her boyfriend broke up with her, which I'm not surprised, because, I mean, honestly, it sounds like a lot of people leave her life, honestly. But from what I'm seeing, what my parents are going through with her, she's one of those people that just sucks people dry. They get enough of it, and they leave. Like, you can't treat people like that. And so now she's saying she's going to go get another apartment. The issue that I find with that, yeah, she got a raise, but she was struggling to keep the apartment that she had. And even if you get a raise, like, getting a more expensive apartment is going to put you right back in the same place you're currently at. Like, the best thing she could do would be to go get government housing, go get herself a car, get her driver's license, then she could try to get one of the factory jobs that are around here that pays a decent living wage. It's not Taco Bell making $10 an hour. She could get a decent living wage job, and then, like, then she could get a different apartment. Like, then she could get out of government housing. There's no shame in needing help. There's no shame in needing to be on welfare. As long as you're working to better yourself. It's the people who just want to live on it forever. That's where I take a problem with. My cousin says she wants to better herself, which is fantastic. But it's like, you know, she got $10. She's up to making like 10 something an hour now, where she was like making 8 or 9. But at the time, like, she was struggling to keep her apartment, to pay her bills, all that stuff. Well, now she makes more money. What would make the most sense is to either stay in the apartment you have now and then try to work towards getting a car, or, you know, getting out of debt or whatever. Getting another apartment that's more expensive than the one she has now is just going to put her right back in the same spot that she's already in. And it's just not... It's aggravating. And it feels like my parents got taken advantage of. That's exactly how it feels. It's like my parents got taken advantage of. And then it makes me mad. Because, like, they're my parents. Like, I love my parents, of course. And they don't deserve to be treated like that. They don't deserve to be disrespected like that. Another thing that happened, she was going on and on about how she doesn't have any groceries. This was a while ago. And my parents bring her groceries. Well, some random guy comes out and helps bring them in. And my dad gets talking to her, and, you know, who's that? Come to find out, she had a whole other family living in the apartment with her. It was some pregnant teenage girl, her dad, and her mom. And she told my parents that they didn't live with her and that, like, they were just friends and there to visit. And so my parents kept bringing them groceries, and they're like, wow, you're going through your groceries really quickly. And I told my parents, I'm like, those people are living with her. And they're like, well, she said that they're not. And, like, my parents, they are amazing people. But they are very trusting. I'm the same way, though. Like, when I want to see good in somebody, like... I will turn a blind eye to so many things. And so they were just really wanting to believe the best in my cousin. You know, she wouldn't do them like that, and A, B, C, and D. But as an outsider looking in, I'm looking in, and I'm like, they're living with her. And she's going through all her groceries because this whole other family is eating it. So all the food that you're bringing to her house is going to feed these other people. Like... I was like, why can't you just be honest? Why can't you say, yeah, their daughter's pregnant, she's friends with my son, they don't have a place to live, I let them move in here. My parents wouldn't have cared. Like, that's your business. Don't lie about it, you know? I think she lied about it because she was afraid my parents would stop feeding them. But that's not fair to my parents to have them bringing you food thinking they're helping you and your 3 kids. And in reality, like, they're feeding this whole other family. And it was to the point where her kids had to go down to the rescue mission for dinner. And if they didn't go down there for dinner, they didn't eat. Even though my parents were still bringing them food. Which, the food was for her and her kids. But her kids were going hungry because this other family was living in her house eating the food. I mean, she finally got rid of those people, but still, like, the lies have been told and you've already taken advantage, you know? So, she made a post today. I think I might have already talked about this, but she made a post today about how nobody helps her and she has no luck, and I called her out on it. She made a post similar to that the other day, and my mom called her out on it and was like, we've helped you for like the last 6 months and you've done nothing with it. You're no better than where we left you at. And I don't remember exactly what my mom said. And my cousin just deleted it and then private messaged her. And she deleted it because this was a message of like, oh, woe is me, nobody helps me. Probably hoping somebody would help her. There was a post she made the other day about how she wanted coffee and was hoping somebody would bring it to her. Like a hot coffee. And then she's like, oh, I had to walk down the street and get it myself. I don't think I've ever made a Facebook post, in all seriousness. I don't think I've ever made a Facebook post saying I want somebody to bring me a drink. It's just aggravating. Because I care about my cousin. I'd like to see her do well. I know she can do better than what she's doing now. But on the other hand, like, I don't like my parents being taken advantage of. Like, that's... Well, there goes my bagel. The dog got that. Cream cheese back up. So anyway, oh, and that was the other thing when they first started helping her out, and I suggested, why doesn't she donate plasma? And they're like, well, the plasma center is too far away, because my husband and I both donate. We bring in about $5.60 a month, and $5.60 divided by 2, what is that? $2.80. So roughly we bring in $2.80 each. That is a big help. Like, what could you do with an extra $2.80 a month? You know, like, and so that's what I suggested, was like, oh, you know, why doesn't she go donate plasma? Does she not know about that? Like, you should suggest it to her. And my dad brought it up to her, and her whole thing was like, oh, BioLife's too far away, I can't walk to it. And I was like, okay, that makes sense, blah, 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 blah. Later on, we find out, whoa, like, she takes the trolley, and guess what? There's a trolley stop right in front of the plasma donation center. And when I brought that up, the whole thing was, oh, with her schedule, and she'd have to do some waiting around, and blah, 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 and what's she gonna do with Chloe? Her daughter's 11, and they have a play center there that is free. Like, okay, maybe you show up 20 minutes and you gotta wait around. That's part of life. Like, I take my kid to the donation center and he goes into the playroom. Yes, I am privileged enough to have my own car and I can drive there. But if I didn't have my own car and I was in her situation, you bet my sweet ass I would be donating some plasma. Because an extra $2.80 a month, like, I look back and I'm like, damn, I wish I would have donated when I was younger. Because I had a decent job and I could have moved out on my own, but it legit would have been a situation of like, pay my bills and that is it. Like, I think when I calculated everything, after my bills would have been paid, I would have had like $10 or $20 left in my account to last me the entire month. Like, there's no wiggle room there. And so I never moved out on my own. If I'd known about donating plasma, oh my god. yeah, I would have been out on my own. Like, you know? And, man, I don't know. I just don't understand people sometimes. Like, she should be getting government housing. She should be donating some plasma. I understand wanting to stay close to her job because she works the night shift and the trolley doesn't run at night. She wants to be within walking distance. But the plasma center opens at like 5 in the morning. So let's say she gets off at work at like 3. Well, I think trolleys start running at like 6. But like, she could get off work, go home, take a shower, get on the trolley, go donate plasma. That takes about an hour, hour and a half. I donate quickly. Mine normally takes like 45 minutes, but my husband takes like an hour and 15. So, anyways, go donate plasma, go back home, go to bed. Like, and it's only twice a week. It's not like she have to do that every single day. And that would have brought in like an extra $280 a month to her household. And the plasma center runs a lot of bonuses. So, and there are a lot of people I see who donate plasma and ride the trolley there. If other people can do it, she can do it. She just keeps coming up with like these reasons for not doing things that would better herself. Like, oh, I don't want government housing because of drugs. They're nice houses. I've been inside of them. And anywhere that you go is going to have drugs. You can't donate plasma. But you can. Other people do it. Like, it would be one thing if she went in there to try to donate and they told her that her veins were no good. That happens. I've had a couple friends who tried to donate and got turned away because they have small veins. But at least try, you know? Like, that's the worst thing that could happen. The best thing is they say, yeah, come on in. Like, and I'm not trying to come on here and get on my high horse and say I'm perfect, because I'm definitely not. It's just the whole thing's just frustrating because, again, like, it feels like my parents got taken advantage of. And then with my cousin, it's like, you want her to be able to do better, and it's like she's just self-sabotaging. The soup is really good. I never even commented on it. So, anyway, I seen that Foodie Beauty is like taking a break from YouTube and said she might not be back, which makes me sad. Anybody else out there watch her? Oh, I tell you why I got turned away. I got turned away from high blood pressure. My blood pressure was high because I was so angry with everything going on with my cousin. Like, I had a feeling they were going to turn me away. Which is one of the things that happens when you donate. Like, they test your blood levels, like your iron. If it's too high or too low, you can't donate. If your blood pressure is too high or too low, you can't donate. There can be a handful of reasons. Typically, I don't have a problem, but I could feel it in my chest. Like, I was so worked up, like, I could feel it in my chest. I was like, they're going to turn me away. Like, I just knew it. And they did. But anyway, back to Foodie Beauty. I was reading the post she was making on YouTube, and it sounds like she was having issues with some people being really mean and nasty to her. And her last post said that she was taking a break for mental health, and she didn't know if she'd be back. Which makes me really sad, because, like, I just found her. And now she might not be doing it anymore. Which really sucks. There's always some asshole out there just looking to be an asshole. I've been really blessed with my main channel, which is linked down below if anybody wants to check it out. People are so kind over there. Like, I hardly ever get hate comments. I've only had a handful of them in the 3.5 years I've been on YouTube. So it's not something I really had to deal with a lot. I'm a little worried that I'll get it over here because I am a bigger person and I'm eating food, and people like throw hate at big people for eating. But seeing as I've been on the platform for 3.5 years. I have gotten some hate comments. Like, on my other channel when I get them anymore, like, they don't even affect me anymore. I kind of got eased into the whole thing. Got used to it, and I'm like, whatever. Call me a bitch. Good for you. You don't even know me. You know? Like, so I just block those people and move on with life. And I'll do the same thing here, but I don't know what I would do if I woke up one day and had like 20 comments of people telling me I was a fat pig and should kill myself. Like, I don't know. I'd like to think I've built up a thick enough skin that it wouldn't bother me, but I don't know that I have. Oh, and by the way, for any haters out there watching this, anytime that I get a hate comment that's really mean and nasty, I report it for bullying and abuse. So, there's that. And then I block you. So, you just get yourself flagged by YouTube, like legit. Like, they'll come and review the comment and check you out. And not a fan of that dressing. Ooh, that's tart. Man. That is some sour stuff. Not really sure what it is. That's gross. It's probably a pretty good face, wasn't it? I think that's Thousand Island dressing, which I've never been a big fan of. But that was like very vinegary. But I've never understood people who watched other people's videos just to be hateful and mean in the comment section. Like, I don't get it. There's a YouTuber I like to watch. I can link her down below. Her name is Shelby. I think her channel is Shell Bizzle. And she does a lot about, like, recycling and being more eco-friendly, environmentally friendly. She does a lot of videos like that. Jeez, this memory card is out of 3 minutes. I hate this memory card. It has like 23 minutes on it. I don't know why I keep using it. Anyway, she makes videos like that. So if you want to check her out, I'll link her down below. But every time I comment on her channel recently, there's been the same person who comments back to me that tells me to go fuck myself. I'm like, I haven't said anything that bad. I'm just telling her I like the video, or I agree with what she's saying, or, you know, something contributing to the conversation. And here's Johnny Know Nothing who's like, go fuck yourself. Fuck you. Do you feel better after saying that? Like, what are you getting out of this? The satisfaction that maybe you hurt my feelings, which you didn't. I don't care, but it's like I just don't understand why people do that. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand it. I get the notifications for those on my phone, but when I get on the community tab on YouTube, since those comments are on Shelby's YouTube page, they're not coming up on mine. I'd have to go into notifications, and I keep forgetting to go over there and block him. I need to do that because he's just being a dick, but I don't know what he's getting out of leaving such rude comments. And I went through the comments on there one time before thinking maybe he's just spamming everybody and saying that to everybody. It's just me. I don't know why. I'm just being an ass. But I was sad to see that Foodie Beauty was possibly leaving the platform. I'll leave a link to her channel down below if you can go check her out, give her some love. We're down to like 1 minute. Oh, this bite was big. Outro take 2. My memory card shut off on me. So, thank you for hanging out with me. If you've not and you would like to, I really hope you would hit the subscribe button down below, because I would love to have you here on a regular basis. Don't forget to check out my main channel. That is also linked down below. Please give this video a big thumbs up if you did enjoy it, because it helps other people find my channel. And I think that is everything for this video. So thank you for listening to me rant. Let me know in the comments down below, have you ever been through a similar situation with a friend or a family member? And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.